a couple of years I did everything in my power to make sure I would live to have an ecological footprint of one Earth. Now you have to know I live in the Netherlands, it's a Western country in Europe, and I did literally everything. I didn't travel that year. I didn't own a car. I lived in a student apartment, so square footage was low, very low. I didn't have any pets. I bought all my clothes sustainable. I ate mostly vegan. Basically everything in my power, I did it all. And I sat down with this calculator thingy that you can find on the internet to check my ecological footprint. And I filled it out with everything that I did and everything that I did in my life, the cost, the money that I spent on electronics, the amount of kilometers I traveled by public transport, all these things I filled it out. And I had done that before. And before this year, I think I was at 2.6 Earth's ecological footprint. After I did everything in my power to reduce it, I still had an ecological footprint of 1.6 Earths. And I realized, okay, this is not how I want to live my life at all. I don't want to deny myself everything, literally everything, every joy, anything, literally there's anything you can do. And in case of the fact that you have, I wanted to live within this footprint, it wasn't possible. I had to say no to everything. If I really, really, really want to get this, there's no traveling, there's no buying clothes, there's no living or owning a house in which I have my own space, like this office that I'm recording this podcast in right now. There's no buying a microphone to record a podcast, because those are all negative impacts on the world around us. And I also realized, well, if I have to say no to all of that, how miserable am I going to be? I actually already felt guilty when I did an unsustainable thing once in a while. I felt the guilt, it didn't feel right, I wanted to do it right, I wanted to do it perfect, and it really hit me when I was behind the counter on my laptop filling this out and getting the results back 1.6 Earths, and I was like, no, this is not how I want to live my life. And from that moment on, I decided to do things a little bit different. And that's what I wanted to tell you today. What can you do different? Because giving up every perks, every joy of life to live within the boundaries of one Earth when you live in a country that literally does not make that possible at all. Because I know if I would immigrate to a poor country in another continent like Africa or something like that, the standards are much lower, really much lower. And it's much easier to live within the boundaries of planet Earth. But with living in such a rich country, it's impossible to do it on your own. I still think you should be doing stuff to take care of our planet and to take care of the world we live in, because obviously the way we're going at right now, it's not sustainable at all. We fly, the amount we drive cars, the kind of weird thing that we have with buying this new stuff all the time, like fast fashion and having new clothes every single month, basically. It's not sustainable. I get that. And I also get that I don't want to say no to all of it. And since you're listening to this podcast and you're still listening, you probably agree with me. And if you don't, well, that's on you, I guess. And it's fine if you really, really, really want to go for this one Earth footprint, environmental footprint. And I totally understand if you don't want to. I totally understand if that's not a goal that you want to pursue, because you have to say no to a lot of things. And saying no all the time, it can be good when you choose you first. But when you say no to something and you deny yourself the happiness of a cup of coffee, when you're on the road and you want a cup of coffee and you get like one in a non-refillable cup because you didn't bring one, it's just, are you really gonna like say no to that? Are you really gonna deny yourself that little piece of happiness that can actually, if you're sitting there with your cup of coffee in the sun or wherever you may be, and you really enjoy this cup of coffee in its non-refillable cup, that might be the moment that you have the best idea to change the world, start a business, make a course, help other people become more sustainable, make a change in the business you have, you own, whatsoever. It can be just like the best idea you get just because you gave yourself the joy of that cup of coffee in a non-refillable cup. It's just that. And I can rant about it for a long time. I won't. I will tell you the steps that I took to make sure that I still make a difference, that I still feel right about the way that I live. And I also enjoy my life. Really enjoy everything that's coming along, while I still take care of the planet around me, but maybe not as extreme as I used to. So the first thing that I want to mention is that, I can make a huge impact. I truly believe this. It's a little bit of a mindset thing. I believe that I can make a lot of impact when I am happy. And it's an analogy that I often, actually, when I want to express how this works. When you are on a plane and they give you the safety instructions, they always tell you when the oxygen masks come down, put one for yourself, put your own on first. Then help the person next to you, if they don't have it on already. But start with yourself. If you wait too long and you don't have enough oxygen, well, you're gonna die. It's just very simple. And you cannot take care of the person that you wanted to take care of because you're not there anymore. And that's the same for me with the environment and the world around me. Taking care of you first, taking care of yourself, making sure you have the joys of that cup of coffee, having the joy of going on a real special holiday, having the joy of, well, in my case, owning a horse. It's not very sustainable, but I do own one. I do own a dog as well. They also have an impact, these animals, but they make me happy. My horse makes me super happy every day when I go to her. I'm super happy to see her. I'm super happy to be with her. And it also gives me ideas about other things. It also gives me ideas on, well, in this case, how we should take care of horses, but also of myself and the world around me in like the bigger picture. Because when I go there, I feel awesome. And when you feel awesome, it's easier to come up with awesome ideas. That's basically how this works. The way you feel, the way your inner state is, the way your emotions are right now, those determine, they call it state-dependent memory, but it's also state-dependent ideas, because you can connect to the right resources. So yeah, that's the first thing. I really think you should take care of yourself, and when you do that, you can make a huge impact on the world around you. You can inspire people to do similar things. You can make a positive change for yourself. You can then make a positive change for the world around you. And so yeah, that means I gotta take care of some of my unsustainable desires, like owning a horse. Or in my case, I have a couple of European friends, and we met each other during a semester abroad in Canada, actually. And we still meet up. We meet up every year. And every year we meet up in a different European city. Last year we went to Paris. And last year, since I live in the Netherlands and very close to Amsterdam, it was kind of easy to go by train. So I took the train last year. But now we decided we're gonna meet up in Stockholm. And I checked all travel options, actually. I checked the bus, I checked the train, the car, and then I checked the plane as well. The train was 24 hours. The bus, it wouldn't even give me options. And 24 hours of train, by the way, it's not... I actually would go by the train for 24 hours. But I think I had to transfer 6 times. And then 2 of those times were like in the middle of the night, like after 1 a.m. and before 6 a.m. It was like, seriously, I don't even get a good night's sleep when I'm on a train. And that's actually a deal breaker for me. And then I looked up the plane, price similar, and flight time 2 hours. Okay, and I know you have to get to the airport as well and all that kind of stuff. So I think it will take me like 5 hours to get to Stockholm. But compared to 24 hours and having no sleep at night, I picked the train. And it's also because I know when I'm with these girls, we always have like super interesting conversations, and also about the environment around us and how to take care of it. And yeah, I might get the best amazing idea for my business when I'm there. So I'm going. I'm really going. I'm gonna take care of me first. So that was the first thing. Taking care of yourself first, and then you can make like an impact on the world around you. Second thing that I do is I focus on the areas in my life where I have an impact. I focus on what I can do. I do not have any control over governmental policies. I don't have any control over how anyone else around me is acting towards sustainability and towards this planet. I don't have any control over, well, basically everything except for me. I have control over me, and I live my life, and I've got a lot of areas in my life. Like, I've got my health, I've got my work, I've got my finances, I've got my friends, I got my, like, you've all these kind of areas in your life, right? And I just decided to focus on at least one area at the same time when I want to be more sustainable. And I'm especially trying to be more sustainable in the area of health at this moment. And that means that I'm trying to eat vegan as much as possible. I really, 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 truly love cheese. It's really hard for me to let that one go, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. So I think at this moment I eat vegan 4 days a week, opposed to like not eating vegan at all before that. Obviously, it's really good for the planet. Having a plant-based diet, it reduces all kind of impacts because you don't eat meat, so you don't have all the water that goes into the meat. You don't have all the grains that go into the meat to create the meat. Same is for all the dairy products of cheese, milk. And the way I go about that is changing one item at a time. So I have my favorite coffee milk, actually, the oat version of barista, and that one I really like. I don't think I will ever go back to normal milk ever again, because I love oat milk. Okay, but I'm getting off topic right now. So I'm focusing on one area at a time, which is eating mostly vegan right now. And the other thing I can do is taking care of the stuff that I own, the stuff that I buy. And it's super simple. It goes by reduce the amount of stuff you buy, reuse everything that you have until it's really, really completely broken. And then when you have to buy something new, try to buy it sustainable. I don't do that for everything. I gotta be honest, I'm not perfect at all. I didn't look up the sustainability of this microphone, for instance, before I bought it, and I used to own a very sustainable phone. We have a company in the Netherlands that's called Fairphone, and builds a phone that's modular that you can put in each other. Unfortunately, as an influencer, I use my phone a lot, and it needs to be good. The camera needs to be good. Everything about it needs to be good. And the version of the Fairphone that I had wasn't good enough for the things I wanted to do with it. But I do buy my clothes mostly sustainable, especially this shirt. I actually got it from a friend. So in that way, I really try to buy secondhand. Yeah, so that's that's the thing, right? Reduce, reuse, buy sustainable as much as possible, or at least one item at a time. Because you can't change everything at all. If you go sky high, it's just not gonna work out ever. You have to build it step by step. And then the third thing that I'm doing is I'm creating impact with my voice. I own a business that is focused on sustainable people, earth lovers, sustainable entrepreneurs, people who want to take care of the planet just as much as I do, because we want to give this planet on to the next generation. We want them to see the earth as we see it. Deep down inside of me, I'm like, well, I kind of want to save humanity. Would be nice if we take care of this planet, because otherwise it is not going to happen. Then we are going to go extinct at some point. But I don't think I will experience that. Hopefully not. Those kind of things. Alright, but let's go back. I do stuff with my work. And when I finished my university, when I got my university degree, I am an environmentalist, specialized in water science and management. And I started working as a climate adaptation advisor for the city council, for a city council. And in that way you can make impact too, you know. With the job you have, that's actually making a lot of difference when you can make a positive impact with your job. To me, that I found out I didn't really like working for a boss, so I started my own business. And with my own business, I offer courses, and the next course that is coming up is how do you make a sustainable choice? How do you make a sustainable choice without feeling guilty, without going like, it needs to be fucking perfect, because nothing is gonna happen when you want it to be perfect. Either way, it's going to be perfect and you're gonna be miserable. Or it's not going to be perfect and you're gonna feel guilty all the time. Can be like a little bit both ways. And I think that's not how this works. That is not how we want to live our lives. That is not how you make the most difference. I think by making small steps at a time, and with this course, the sustainable choice, I'm gonna walk you through it step by step. What is sustainability? What is important in your life? What do you think is important, and which area are you gonna focus on? And when you're gonna focus on that area, how are you gonna make decisions that make you feel guilty, and how do you let go of this guilt? It's really gonna be awesome, because I'm gonna pick out how I do it right now and give a little background on sustainability. And I really, really think that with this course you can make confident choices. So come join me, really come join me. Because making a sustainable choice in your life and letting go of all the guilt of not being sustainable enough, not doing enough, while you are actually doing something and you make really conscious choices. In this area I'm going to focus on, and not that area I'm not going to focus on it at all. So, and if you're like, don't want to come join me in my course, like, what? You're not going to join? Make sure to just like sit down and say like, okay, on my grocery list, I'm going to swap one item this week. I'm gonna buy one item sustainable, and then you can build on from there, right? You can just build this habit of making a little bit more of a sustainable choice, and be okay with the fact that, well, you can't be sustainable all the time. I drive a lot of kilometers in a car on a daily basis, actually, and I don't feel guilty about it at all. The moment that I have enough money to buy a sustainable car, I will, but I don't. And I need this car to make more money, to whatever, all these kind of things, right? So if you feel like guilty about, if you feel guilty about not making always a sustainable choice, if you are just like me, you're like, yeah, this one earth footprint, it's just not gonna happen ever, but I really, really want to make a difference. in my way, and I want to be confident about it. I want to feel like I'm on top of the world when it is about being sustainable, when it's about making the right choice. Really, you should totally come join this course. I got a special, it's the first time that I'm launching it. It's going to be awesome, but the first time is also the cheapest time. So this would be the time to jump in and grab your ticket for like 27 euro. It's really, really, really ridiculous low price. I actually thought about making it 147 euros, and it will go up to that price at some point. But right now it's available for 27 euros. So come join me. It's going to be awesome. And I hope to see you on the other side.